Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're diving headfirst into the twisted and unforgettable world of heavy metal with a keen focus on the late, great Ozzy Osbourne. So, crank up the volume, throw up the horns, because we're starting with the songs that defined Ozzy's reign.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're looking at the best songs from the Prince of Darkness's solo career. We'll be admitting guest appearances on other tracks while also saving Ozzy's work with Black Sabbath for another day.
There's no present, there's no future, I don't even know about the past. It's all timeless and never ending.
Number 20, Secret Loser.
I'm a secret loser.
Hey, are you looking for a great, easily accessible song to introduce a friend to the heavy metal bombast of Ozzy Osbourne? Secret Loser is a great place to start. A hooky single from the man's underrated 1986 slab, The Ultimate Sin. Jake Ely's main riff is infectiously catchy. Ozzy's vocal lines are melodic, and Phil Sousan's bass does some seriously heavy lifting during the breakdown before the final verse. Secret Loser was even featured in the 1986 sci-fi fantasy The Wraith and appeared on that film's soundtrack.
Wrapped in a long fire, I'm losing control.
The cut is a secret, pardon the pun, killer from a discography chock full of hidden gems.
Surface the wound again.
Number 19, Steal Away, The Night.
Now I feel the time is right. Love will flow like wine tonight.
Does the act of including a parenthetical automatically make a song better? Well, not particularly, but it doesn't hurt, especially when it's a track that rocks as hard as Steal Away, The Night.
Come on, baby, now I've met your honesty. You are here and I am free.
The cut is tucked away as the closing track to Ozzy's breakout Blizzard of Oz LP from 1980. But don't think for a second it's a throwaway. Instead, Steal Away the Night ends Blizzard of Oz in rousing, thunderous fashion, a blazing rocker with a killer riff. Randy Rhoads rips out an amazing lead guitar performance, while Bob Daisley's bass adds a melodic counterpoint to the verses against Ozzy's vocals. It's great stuff. Number 18, Bloodbath in Paradise.
You're coming home. There's blood on the walls.
The laundry list of guitar players who have served at Ozzy's right hand leads like a veritable who's who of heavy metal talent. Zakk Wylde made his debut as Osbourne's sideman with 1988's No Rest for the Wicked, and he brought with him a fresh air of riffing urgency. Bloodbath in Paradise serves as a calling card for Wylde's wicked six-string skills, a devious and dark song about Charles Manson and the Tate LaBianca murders. The song's quick pace and hyper-aggressive approach is perfect for Ozzy's late 80s career, as heavy metal was becoming faster and heavier by the day. There's little in the way of subtlety, sure, but this isn't a bad thing. Bloodbath in Paradise is a banger. Number 17, Mr. Tinker Train. We're going to keep the darkness train rolling for our next pick, the pitch-black predatory opener to 1991's No More Tears. It was a gutsy move for Ozzy and his band to kick off Osbourne's first album for the 90s with Mr. Tinker Train. The groove here is as sleazy as the song's subject matter, while the arrangements are remarkably inventive. Take, for example, how the second verse opens up with some finger snaps. Meanwhile, Zakk Wylde proves how he was one of Ozzy's heaviest guitar players, slinging riffs that are stunningly heavy. The production is thunderous and loud, lifting Mr. Tinker Train to the summit of Ozzy's heaviest jams. Number 16, The Ultimate Sin. Ozzy's The Ultimate Sin album from 1986 is, for many fans, one of the man's finest recorded efforts, full stop. We're singling out the heavy AF title track in particular, a song that showcases guitarist Jakey Lee in typically amazing form.
Keep the hands going.
This period of Ozzy's career was marked by what was perhaps the man's closest flirtation with glam metal. But this definitely isn't a bad thing in our eyes. The Ultimate Sin is flashy, fiery, and overproduced, just the way we like it. The song's main riff is crunchy too, proving that the Sunset Strip influenced Ozzy still had plenty of gas left in the creative tank. Number 15, Flying High Again. The discography of Ozzy Osbourne is nothing if not diverse. His songs often encompass a variety of moods, including the lighter feeling of songs like Flying High Again. It's the spirit of 1970s arena rock that permeates this cut from Ozzy's Diary of a Madman album from 1981. A feel-good tune about creative freedom. Indeed, Flying High Again actually isn't about cannabis or narcotics use, but instead Ozzy's enthusiasm for his budding solo career after departing Black Sabbath. Flying High Again is an easygoing jam that's perfectly tailored to rock radio, and one that still gets played often today. Number 14, You're No Different.
Tell me, where do I belong in a sick society?
The era of Ozzy Osbourne's career with guitarist Jakey Lee was one marked with flashy theatrics and some truly great songs. It's here with songs like You're No Different, where Ozzy's career seems to veer even further away from Black Sabbath's doom and gloom and further into commercial success. The production is slicker, the riffs pantsier, and the arrangements geared more towards catchy hooks and memorable choruses. You're No Different is moody and gothic, while Ozzy's vocals present a brooding prince of darkness, backed by Lee's enviable guitar mastery. Number 13, Miracle Man.
I'm looking for a miracle man that tell me the light.
Ozzy had long been in the political crosshairs of the religious right prior to 1988's No Rest for the Wicked album. However, the Ozman took aim right at figures like Jimmy Swaggart on his song Miracle Man. This was a scathing rebuke of the perceived hypocrisy of high-profile television preachers caught with their proverbial and sometimes literal pants down. It's a great way to open up the album, as Zakk Wylde kicks out the jams with a riff that practically screams for air guitar accompaniment. Meanwhile, drummer Randy Castillo pounds his kit for all it's worth, making each beat count as Miracle Man races towards the finish line. Number 12, I Just Want You.
I just want you.
Here's a question. Does an artist's whole career matter? Or do some of us, as fans, tune out after a while? 1995's Osmosis could be considered as one of Ozzy's last great solo albums. At the very least, it contains some truly awesome songs, such as I Just Want You. The tune is melodic and indicative of how the Osmosis album took some creative risks.
There are no criminal crimes. There are no unrunnable rhymes.
There are some Beatles-esque harmonies utilized by Ozzy on the song, while the backing keyboard orchestration adds some texture to the song's overall quirkiness. The vocal melody is also incredibly strong and memorable, leading the charge to present I Just Want You as perhaps one of those Ozzy songs you forgot about but are glad to revisit.
I just want you. I just want you.
Number 11, Suicide Solution.
Wine is fine, but whiskey's quicker.
Ozzy isn't exactly a stranger to controversy, but it was this song that got the singer in legal trouble back in 1985. The song was blamed for the death of John Daniel McCollum, a blame for which Ozzy was found not guilty in courts. The tune itself, meanwhile, anchors itself on an iconic riff from Randy Rhoads, a Spitfire affair that's heavy and groovy at the same time. Bob Daisley's bass anchors the entire thing with a rock-solid bottom end to boot. Ozzy would revisit similar themes with 1988's underrated Demon Alcohol, but it all started here with this unforgettable track.
Take a bottle, drown your sorrows. Better thoughts away tomorrow.
Number 10, Mama, I'm Coming Home.
You took me in and you drove me out, yeah, you had me hypnotized, yeah.
Ozzy is justifiably known for his contributions to heavy metal, but many laypersons possibly forgot how many wonderful ballads he's sung over the years.
I guess that we'll meet in the end.
Goodbye to Romance serves as a great example from Ozzy's early years, while Old LA Tonight is a latter-day tearjerker.
Will it be alright tonight?
Meanwhile, Mama, I'm Coming Home sits smack dab in the middle as one of the Ozman's most successful singles. The lyrics were written by Motorhead's Lemmy Kilmister and possess a certain poetry that could often spring from that man's fertile mind.
I could be right, I could be wrong. It hurts so bad, it's been so long.
Meanwhile, Ozzy's vocal arrangements are lush and service the song's lead melody in a keen and memorable way.
'Cause mama, I'm coming home.
Number 9, Perry Mason.
On his way to dinner, when he took him by surprise.
If you think that the famed TV lawyer Perry Mason is a strange subject for an Ozzy Osbourne song, then congratulations. You're absolutely right. It doesn't really matter at the end of the day, though, because this first single from 1995's Osmosis album hits all the right notes. The main riff is crunchy as hell, and the guitar solo from Zakk Wylde is one of the finest ever put to tape on an Ozzy record. The songwriting feels economical here, with a beautiful bridge linking Perry Mason's driving verse sections and that ultra sing-alongable chorus. Don't overthink it too much, and just enjoy Perry Mason for what it is, a great song.
Tell me it's alright, just keep on talking, baby. I've been
Number 8. No More Tears.
The light in the window is a crack in the sky.
There were a number of singles released from Ozzy's landmark, super successful 1991 LP, No More Tears. The title track has endured right up to the modern day as well, remaining a staple on rock and heavy metal radio. It's easy to see why, too, since No More Tears has one fantastic bass line going for it that helps drive the song.
The red light goes on to say it's time to begin.
Mike Inez from Alice in Chains composed said bass line, although it's longtime Ozzy songwriter Bob Daisley who performed on the album. Speaking of which, No More Tears would mark the end of Daisley's often controversial partnership with Ozzy after years of royalty and songwriting credit disputes. If that team had to split up, however, No More Tears is one heck of a way to go out. Number 7. I Don't Know. All eyes were on Ozzy Osbourne as he departed the successful and influential Black Sabbath in favor of a solo career. Thankfully, Ozzy assembled a murderer's row of talent in order to help him achieve his goals on Blizzard of Oz. Keyboardist Don Airey and Uriah Heep's drummer Lee Kerslake joined up with the aforementioned Rhodes and Daisley to write and record Blizzard of Oz, and it's their contributions that helped lift songs like I Don't Know to icon status. Rhodes' main riff is aggressive but accessible, while Daisley and Kerslake's restrained rhythm sections allows the track to breathe. As for Ozzy, well, he nails that iconic chorus for all he's worth, and this opening track helped forge Blizzard of Oz into heavy metal legend. Number 6. Mr. Crowley.
Mr. Crowley, what went on in your head?
The devil was truly in the details throughout a lot of heavy metal throughout the 1970s, 80s, and beyond. Old Scratch was always a handy source of lyrical inspiration, but Ozzy took to more esoteric realms when he released Mr. Crowley as a single. The song's lyrical content is indebted to the infamous English occultist Aleister Crowley, a hermetic magician who founded the religion of Thelema in the early 1900s.
Mr. Crowley, symbolic, of course.
Mr. Crowley's musical approach echoes this mysterious and often shadowed world of religious study, particularly thanks to Don Airey's evocative keyboard intro. Elsewhere, Randy Rhoads' epic solo is the icing on the cake for this dark and driving song of heavy metal madness. Number 5. Shot in the Dark. There's a lot to unpack in Shot in the Dark. As mentioned before, Ozzy has always dodged allegations of improperly crediting those who have written songs for and with him over the years. Shot in the Dark was a notable hit from The Ultimate Sin, yet it's curiously missing from many compilation albums for reasons of nebulous ownership. Bassist Phil Susan brought the song to Ozzy after first demoing it with the group Wildlife in the early 80s. Shot in the Dark would be heavily reworked, however, gaining Jake E. Lee's shining stamp of guitar wizardry to make it thoroughly Ozzy's. Legal ownership aside, Shot in the Dark remains a melodic high point of exquisite songwriting and one of Ozzy's finest hours. Number 4. Bark at the Moon.
Break the silence, waking from the king of night.
We've talked up Jakey Lee a lot, and with good reason. The man could friggin' shred. Bark at the Moon possesses what's perhaps one of Lee's finest hours with Ozzy, a riff masterpiece that was a barn burner from first note to last. The song wastes no time in melting faces with a central lick that's as catchy as a coal. Meanwhile, the solo section melds a bit of Randy Rhoads' classical inspiration with Lee's own flashy and theatrical style. This is over-the-top heavy metal with an equally outrageous music video to cap the whole affair in brilliant fashion. Oh, and that final solo by Lee as Ozzy's howl rings out and Bark at the Moon reaches a crescendo? Absolute brilliance. Number 3. Over the Mountain.
Over the mountains, take me across the sky.
Many musicians developed certain stylistic calling cards over the years. Lee Kerslake was one of those drummers who found a sweet spot with a certain type of dynamic drum fill, one he performed often with both Uriah Heep and Ozzy Osbourne. It's this fill that opens up Over the Mountain, a certified banger that was one of the singles from Ozzy's sophomore LP, Diary of a Madman. Kerslake's driving drumming works well with Randy Rhoads' classically inspired playing, particularly during the dynamic solo section. Kerslake punctuates Rhoads' cutting lead work with that aforementioned drum fill, as Over the Mountain tramples over everything on the way to a skull-crushing finale. Number 2. Crazy Train.
Crazy train, I thought you were gonna go wild tonight.
A list of Ozzy Osbourne songs admittedly wouldn't be complete without Crazy Train, right? As the Ozman's best-known tune and was, for many years, their first experience with Osbourne's solo career, Ozzy's iconic opening vocal leads into a thumping bass line and equally classic main riff from Randy Rhoads. It's a lick that would be revised and revisited years later by Jakey Lee on Ozzy's Lightning Strikes. But the original has gone down in history as perhaps heavy metal's catchiest single. Crazy Train is an Ozzy song that will always be regarded as one of the man's musical calling cards.
I'm going off the rails on a crazy train.
Before we unveil our top pick, here are a few honorable mentions. Devil's Daughter, Holy War, Heaven versus Hell, Winner Takes All.
I'll pay a visit in your darkest hour.
I Don't Want to Change the World, a great single from the No More Tears album. SATO, Sailing Across the Ocean to Progressive Heights.
Things unfold, seems to go, golden brighter than the sunlight.
Desire, another songwriting contribution from Lemmy. Waiting for Darkness, an epic album closer.
Here I'll stay, waiting for darkness.
Tattooed Dancer, a slice of sleaze from the Ozman. Now you see it, now you don't. Bob Daisley calls out Sharon in song form. Number 1. Diary of a Madman. Much has been written over the years about Randy Rhoads' brilliant synthesis of classical music and heavy metal. Diary of a Madman just may be the perfect distillation of that experiment, while also existing as one of Ozzy Osbourne's most progressive-sounding songs. The track is a mini-epic, hanging its hat on Rhoads' inspired playing, an orchestration that sounds like something out of a Hammer horror movie. It's the sound of Ozzy perhaps working outside of his comfort zone, but wonderfully so, and successfully to boot. Crazy Train may be Ozzy's biggest hit, but it's Diary of a Madman that's perhaps the man's best song. What's your all-time favorite Ozzy track?
I'm still searching for the key.
The 1980s were a time of big hair, bigger guitars, and rock anthems that could shake an arena. Let's find out what Ozzy Osbourne tune makes the cut in the list of top 10 rock anthems of the 80s.
Welcome to Watch Mojo. And today we're counting down our picks for the 80s rock songs that make us raise our fists and yell. Number 10, Dr. Feelgood, Motley Crue. Kings of the Sunset Strip, Motley Crue have no shortage of heavy metal anthems. However, it's seriously impressive that the band was able to craft songs this excellent. Both Dr. Feelgood and fellow banger Kickstart My Heart are heavy, high-octane affairs, the sort of songs that immediately evoke a memorable time and place. Specifically, Dr. Feelgood chugs along at a sinister mid-pace, achieving heaviness without skimping on major hooks and sleaze. Meanwhile, the music video is a mini-epic, with frontman Vince Neil commanding listeners' attention as the song's cautionary tale ends in bullets, fire, and lots of explosions. Number 9, Ace of Spades, Motorhead. Motorhead's Ace of Spades may just squeeze into our criteria in the year 1980, but the song's influence as an iconic hard rock and heavy metal anthem remains secure.
If you like to gamble, I tell you I'm your man. You win some, lose some, it's all the same to me.
There's an electricity to Ace of Spades that takes hold right from Lemmy Kilmister's overblown bass tone to that sandpaper guitar riff from Fast Eddie Clarke. Add to this sonic stew the maniacal drums of Phil "Filthy Animal" Taylor, and you have a recipe for a take no prisoners sonic assault.
The only gun I need is the Ace of Spades. The Ace of Spades.
Lemmy's fatalistic lyrics about gambling and Wild West danger lend Ace of Spades a conceptual atmosphere that's analogous to hard rock's unpredictability as the 70s gave way to a new decade. What remained constant, you may ask? Well, Motorhead and their no BS brand of rock and roll.
You know it's gonna be the Ace of Spades. The Ace of Spades.
Number 8, You Shook Me All Night Long, AC/DC. If Motorhead was leading the heavy charge in 1980, then consider AC/DC's Back in Black LP as a re-energized statement of intent.
She was a fast machine. She cut the motor clean. She was the best damn woman that I ever seen.
The Australian legends were still reeling from their loss of their inimitable frontman Bon Scott. Yet it was Back in Black and songs like You Shook Me All Night Long that helped prove AC/DC could soldier on with new singer Brian Johnson at the helm.
You shook me all night long. Yeah, you shook me all night long.
If that album's opening track, Hell's Bells, possessed demonic intentions, then You Shook Me All Night Long is the party time respite that helped AC/DC re-enter the charts with a vengeance. It's a duck-walking, fist-pumping exercise in radio-friendly, anthemic rock that continues to get AC/DC fans all riled up.
You really took me in, you shook me all night long. You shook me all night long.
Number 7, Youth Gone Wild, Skid Row. A good song is a good song, regardless of era, style, or extraneous trappings.
Since I was born, they couldn't hold me down. Another misfit kid, another burned out town.
Youth Gone Wild is truly one of the all-time greats, too. A heavy metal anthem from one of the 1980s most influential groups, Skid Row. Much of the attention paid to Youth Gone Wild, deservedly so, falls to singer Sebastian Bach. He is, quite simply, the man, and possesses a voice that embodies power, emotion, grace, and humor. However, the songwriting of Skid members Dave Snake Sabo and Rachel Bolan also can't be denied as the glue that helps make Youth Gone Wild work so well. The textured arrangements and attention to detail are 100% there, and Youth Gone Wild, as a result, transcends the 80s to last forever. Number 6, Paradise City, Guns N' Roses. Here's a question. Does it matter that the main riff from Guns N' Roses' Paradise City sounds remarkably similar to Zero the Hero by Black Sabbath? Maybe, but we also doubt that this revelation will hurt this GNR classic from ruling radio roosts for decades to come. That's because it's a song that's become synonymous with Guns N' Roses as a brand, a song they almost always have to play, and one that always gets a rabid reaction.
Take me down to a paradise city where the grass is green and the girls are pretty. Oh, won't you please take me home?
The aforementioned riff, heist it or not, keeps Paradise City going for the most part, but the real kicker is during the final act, when the pace is stepped up and GNR go for broke. It's classic stuff.
Oh, won't you please take me home, baby.
Number 5, Peace Sells, Megadeth. Thrash fans know this one right from that iconic bass line. Heck, people who never even heard of Megadeth might know Peace Sells from its longtime use during MTV's Music News briefs. Beyond this bit of trivia, this title track from Megadeth's sophomore album, Peace Sells, But Who's Buying, hangs its creative hat on something we're calling the Mustaine Shuffle. It's an approach Megadeth main man Dave Mustaine historically uses often for his riffs, and there are few who chug and crunch in quite the same way.
Oh, I'll be the first in line, but it better work this time.
Peace Sells really hits its stride when it breaks away from this shuffling rhythm, however, hitting the thrash gas for some lightning-fast solos and a chorus that still kills so many years later. Number 4, Rock You Like a Hurricane, Scorpions. Germany's Scorpions were actually doing just fine for themselves prior to the 1980s, enjoying a reputation as one of their country's finest progressive krautrock exports. However, heavy metal came calling in a big way for the group as the 70s headed into the creative rear view. Rock You Like a Hurricane is very much indicative of the musical path Scorpions have trod from that point to the modern day. A muscular and riff-focused metallic assault.
Here I am, rock you like a hurricane. Here I am, rock you like a hurricane.
Twin harmony leads, anthemic choruses, savage riffing, it's all there and laser focused to its most commercial potential for a decade that liked things loud and heavy. Sure, Scorpions weren't really a prog band anymore, but that mattered little to their new legions of headbanging faithful.
Here I am, rock you like a hurricane. Here I am, rock you like a hurricane.
Number 3, Crazy Train, Ozzy Osbourne. Put those pitchforks away for the time being. We know that Crazy Train isn't Ozzy Osbourne's best song. Not by a long shot, in fact. However, its status as an anthem and calling card for the former Black Sabbath singer is undeniable.
Crazy, but that's how it goes.
There's a hokiness to that opening riff that's immediately recognizable by even those completely unfamiliar with hard rock and heavy metal.
I'm going off the rails on a crazy train.
The creative flowers here definitely need to be laid at the feet of the dear and departed Randy Rhoads, whose axe-slinging skills laid the groundwork for Ozzy to become the icon he is today. Rhoads may be gone, but the contributions he made on songs like Crazy Train live forever.
I'm going off the rails on a crazy train.
Number 2, Run to the Hills, Iron Maiden.
White man came across the sea. He brought us pain and misery.
We're on a similar line of thinking as Ozzy with this one, a tried and true heavy metal anthem that's most definitely not a deep track. Still, Iron Maiden's Run to the Hills was, for many, a gateway drug for the intoxicating bliss that was heavy metal back in the 1980s. So that's gotta count for something, right? Bassist and songwriter Steve Harris leans into this trademark gallop for all it's worth as Run to the Hills makes its presence felt.
Run to the hills. Run for your lives.
It's then freshly acquired singer Bruce Dickinson that really steals the show here, however, howling with abandon and ferocity as if his life depended on it. Love it or hate it, Run to the Hills is an undeniable rocker.
Run to the hills. Run for your lives.
Number 1, Master of Puppets, Metallica. Who said an anthem needs to compromise anything in order to connect with the masses? If someone did, nobody told Metallica, because worldwide dominance and success came to them, not the other way around.
Ended passion play, crumbling away. I'm your source of self-destruction.
How else can we explain a world where a song is heavy, complex, and brazenly metallic can enter the pop culture zeitgeist of a show like Stranger Things? It speaks largely to how closely Metallica's songwriting reflected a perfectionist's desire and an almost maddening attention to detail.
Controlling master, obey your master. Your life burns faster. Obey your master, master.
This is meticulous thrash metal composed with an ear for classical bass structures and arrangements that always service the song, as opposed to any personal indulgences of the musicians involved. In other words, it's perfect.
Your life burns faster. Obey your master, master, master of puppets are pulling the strings, twisting your mind and smashing your dreams.
What 1980s rock song pumps you up?
There's no easy way out. There's no shortcut home.
Whether leading Black Sabbath into the abyss or conquering stages solo, Ozzy Osbourne's magnetic madness makes him a frontman like no other. And trust me, it puts him right up there with the best of them.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 20 greatest frontmen in rock. for this list, we're looking at the very best lead vocalists in rock history. While artists like Prince and Bruce Springsteen are legendary, they will be excluded because they are primarily solo artists. And we'll save front women for a list of their own. Did we forget one of your favorite frontmen in rock? Number 20, Bon Scott, AC/DC. Scottish-born Australian singer Bon Scott was the secret ingredient that turned AC/DC into an international brand.
No stop signs, speed limit. Nobody's gonna slow me down.
His stellar shrieks were radical for 70s rock voices. Additionally, he helped put a harder edge to a decade known for softer music.
She wanted it hard, wanted it fast. She liked it done medium rare.
Scott's vocal abilities and Angus Young's power chords became a match made in rock heaven. Without the singer's effortless contributions, there would be no Highway to Hell. The vocalist tragically died before he could show the world more of the depths of his immense talents. While AC/DC continued without the performer, his lasting impact on the group was never forgotten.
Seems like attack. Attack's too much.
Number 19, Bono, U2. By the end of the 1980s, U2 became one of the biggest bands and live acts in rock history. Their one and only lead singer Bono was an undeniably charismatic and singular presence. He constantly used the height of his celebrity to promote charitable causes and share his beliefs. While some love to hate on the vocalist, his lyrical content stood above his contemporaries. Many failed to credit the performer for his influence on pop rock in general.
One life, but we're not the same. We get to carry each other.
If you wrote him off as just a pretentious guy with sunglasses, listen to his contributions on albums like The Joshua Tree. Bono succeeded in being both a great frontman and a pretty good role model. Number 18, Eddie Vedder, Pearl Jam. Eddie Vedder brought a unique lyrical ability and strong personality to the stage.
Breathing, rest his head on a pillow made of concrete. Again.
His role in Pearl Jam made him a cult figure for the grunge movement. Led by his deep voice, the group's debut album 10 became an unforgettable 90s rock experience.
Even though
The singer's stage antics like climbing the light rigging and stage diving helped endear him to fans. Over the decades, the alternative rock group toured the world with a devoted following.
Jeremy spoke and clears today.
Vedder penned lyrics about real-world issues and wore his heart on his flannel sleeve. His continued appreciation of the Pearl Jam fanbase contributed to his status as a rock and roll Hall of Fame frontman.
Everyone's crying. The full moon is looking for friends at high tide.
Number 17, Gerard Way, My Chemical Romance. Gerard Way co-created My Chemical Romance after being deeply affected by the attacks on September 11th.
When I was a young boy, my father took me into the city.
While the songs he performed helped him work through his personal demons, they became relatable to the legions of fans that supported the group. Way's contributions to the sounds of emo and alternative rock changed the game for artists in the 2000s.
What's the worst thing I can say? Since I'm there if I stay.
Behind the eyeliner, the frontman was much more than a stereotypical goth performer. The singer's personal and emotional writing led to several modern classics such as The Black Parade.
We'll carry on, we'll carry on, and carry on.
There were few figures in the same decade that were as uniquely visionary as him. Number 16, Rob Halford, Judas Priest. There's a reason that Rob Halford and his band Judas Priest are referred to as metal gods. Although he got into heavy metal and hard rock, his superior vocal range could have helped him have a successful opera career. Fortunately for his fans, Halford helped bolster the British wing of the metal craze in the late 70s and 80s. He and the band provided a hardcore soundtrack to activities like motorcycle riding. Along the way, the vocalist broke down barriers when he came out as gay in a subgenre that didn't have much LGBTQ+ representation at the time. Halford's authenticity and dedication to his craft built up Judas Priest as a force of nature in the rock world.
Breaking the law, breaking the law, breaking the law, breaking the law.
Number 15, Chester Bennington, Linkin Park. Serving as Linkin Park's lead vocalist and its heart, Chester Bennington definitely deserved all the praise he got over the years.
I tried so hard and got so far, but in the end, it doesn't even matter.
He and Mike Shinoda crafted a mix of lyrics and rap verses that stood out from other rap rock acts. The group survived the 2000s with the drive to delve into painful themes in their music. Even as their songs took on a different flavor, he never undersold a vocal part.
I've put my trust in you, pushed as far as I can go.
He's one of the few singers that truly left everything on the table with each performance. Unfortunately, the artist died in 2017 after struggling with depression.
I've become so numb, I can't feel you there.
His meaningful additions to Linkin Park's catalog created a sincere connection with fans all over the world.
And I know I may end up failing too.
Number 14, Bruce Dickinson, Iron Maiden. As Iron Maiden prepared to send heavy metal for a loop in the 80s, Bruce Dickinson was brought on as the lead singer.
You'll take my life, but I'll take yours too. You fire musket, but I'll run you through.
It soon became clear that he had joined the band for their most influential period. Dickinson's mesmerizing vocals first appeared on the Number of the Beast album. There were few voices that could deliver singles like Run to the Hills with such gusto. Although Dickinson stepped away from the band for a time, he returned to continue making hits and delivering strong performances. His pristine voice built him up as a major figure for more progressive hard rock. Dickinson's work with Iron Maiden ensured their magical melodies were a part of a stellar decade of metal. Number 13, Chris Cornell, Soundgarden and Audioslave. Chris Cornell had a special talent that gave 90s rock a huge boost. While the grunge genre was full of amazingly talented singers, few could compete with this singer's serene vocal stylings.
Black hole sun, won't you come? Wash away the rain.
The artist guided Soundgarden through alternative and hard rock influences. He hit amazing notes and played the guitar in the same breath.
I'm gonna break my rusty cage.
When the performer went on to provide his talents to the underrated Audioslave, he gained even more fans. In any group, Cornell shook stadiums with his deep and complex songs. All of his musical ventures felt authentic because he brought his own perspective and outlook on life to every note. His introspective personality blossomed on stage as he roared like few frontmen could. Number 12. David Lee Roth, Van Halen. David Lee Roth energized Van Halen in the 70s and 80s with his showmanship.
I get up, and nothing gets me down.
Among the hardest working entertainers in rock music, Roth was an acrobatic stage presence.
Might as well jump, jump. Might as well jump.
The singer and guitarist Eddie Van Halen teamed up to produce one of the most celebrated live acts of their era.
Jumping, what's that sound? Here she comes, full blasting top down.
Every moment he spent on stage was in full dedication to the audience. While he wasn't considered a traditional singer, he made up for it with his status as a brilliant ringleader. His unique take on songs from Panama to Jump brought millions of fans to their feet.
Ain't no stopping now. Panama.
Number 11. Dave Grohl, Foo Fighters. Dave Grohl emerged from the end of Nirvana with his own music project.
Hello, I've waited here for you.
While he might have been a shy drummer in his old band, Foo Fighters allowed him to break out of his shell. This time, he decided to try his hand at being the singer.
Everything could ever be this way forever.
What started as an experiment became one of the most successful rock acts of the 21st century.
You gave me something that I didn't have, but had no use.
During a period dominated by pop and hip-hop artists, Grohl showed everyone how powerful and relevant the genre could be.
What if I say I'm not like the others? What if I say I'm not just another one of your plays?
The singer's signature scream and good-hearted nature made him one of the most likable frontmen in recent memory.
Someone get in a bed, the bed to you.
Number 10. Jim Morrison, The Doors. Jim Morrison was one of the most enigmatic figures in rock and roll.
You know that it would be untrue. Know that I would be a liar.
After graduating from UCLA with a film degree, he gravitated towards artists like Ray Manzarek and co-founded The Doors.
Come on, come on, come on, come on, now touch me, babe. Can't you see that I am not afraid?
Morrison's poetic words helped give their music huge play in the counterculture scene. There were not many artists who could have delivered a song like The End with such conviction.
This is the end, my only friend.
Sadly, the performer was taken from the world at the age of 27. He left behind a short but undeniable career of lyrical excellence.
Come on, baby, light my fire. Come on, baby, light my fire.
Morrison's deep voice cut across the late 60s in hits that captured a changing social landscape.
Tried to run, tried to hide, bring on through to the other side.
Number 9. Kurt Cobain, Nirvana. Kurt Cobain held court as the unlikely king of grunge music.
Load up on guns, bring your friends, fun to lose, to pretend.
While he wasn't a huge fan of the amount of fame his talent brought, he still led his biggest fans through the 1990s with his vocals. Cobain's deeply personal and transgressive songwriting blew a hole through the status quo.
Hey, wait, I got a real complaint.
By combining a variety of rock subgenres, he became one of the most successful acts of the decade.
When the lights out, it's the strangers. Here we are now, entertainers.
The singer's honesty and no-frills attitude only increased his reputation as a frontman for Nirvana. Unfortunately, his career was cut short at the age of 27. But Cobain is still part of an elite group of artists that achieved so much in such a short time.
The face to face of the man who sold the world.
Number 8. Iggy Pop, The Stooges. Iggy Pop and the Stooges laid the template for American punk rock music. His onstage persona tore to shreds any notion of decorum.
I'm so messed up, I want you here.
He also made it cool to take your shirt off during a performance. Fortunately, the singer would go much further than removing his top over the course of his career. Pop and his bandmates recorded 3 highly influential albums before a multi-decade hiatus. He embarked on a diverse solo career before reuniting with his old group in the 2000s. Thanks to his unpredictable stage presence, any act he was a part of could get pretty wild. Sometimes underrated and overlooked, Pop and his band were finally recognized by the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 2010. Number 7. Roger Daltrey, The Who. Roger Daltrey sang for one of the heaviest acts of the British invasion. Before terms like metal were mainstream, The Who was considered among the loudest rock bands. Daltrey was one of the first frontmen who wasn't limited by just a microphone. He usually appeared on stage while swinging the device around like a champion. Not only was he a great performer, his singing abilities were seriously tested with complicated rock operas like Tommy. The vocalist belted out anthemic numbers with the best of them. He and the group represented the fury and artistry lurking in harder-edged music. Much of the singer and the act's creativity was ahead of its time in performance, ambition, and stage destruction.
It's a leading edge western.
Number 6. Axl Rose, Guns N' Roses. As the fearless leader of Guns N' Roses, Axl Rose moved the goalposts for frontmen in hard rock. Rose and his partying bandmates provided an antidote to the typical hair metal of the late 80s. Without his lyrics, classics like the edgy anthem Welcome to the Jungle would never have come together. Appetite for Destruction and both Use Your Illusion records showcased his musical scope and ambition.
Sometimes I need some time all alone.
The group's original lineup dissolved after egos and uncompromising visions changed the band's trajectory. Despite his sometimes testy reputation, the singer's perseverance and leadership helped make GNR a household name. Number 5. Steven Tyler, Aerosmith. Steven Tyler commanded a microphone stand like nobody else. His scarves and costumes were as famous as his raspy vocals.
Talk about things that nobody cares.
Here's what I'm wearing, Billy.
Wearing out the things that nobody wears.
Over the course of 3 decades, Tyler delivered ballads and heavy rock hits with ease. Despite his personal struggles, the singer persevered with an iconic slew of singles.
Sing with it, sing for the year, sing for left and sing for the dear.
The vocalist poured his heart out on Dream On, and over 20 years later, he blew the roof off with I Don't Want to Miss a Thing.
I still miss you, baby, and I don't want to miss a thing.
He even helped bridge the gap between rock and hip-hop with Run DMC.
Walk this way, talk this way, walk this way.
Along with guitarist Joe Perry, the singer masterminded one of the longest-running success stories in music history. Number 4. Ozzy Osbourne, Black Sabbath. Ozzy Osbourne came on the scene as the lead singer of Black Sabbath. Together with his esteemed bandmates like Tony Iommi, he practically created heavy metal music. He crafted the template for a singer in that particular rock subgenre.
Can you help me? Not you from my brain.
Iron Man and Paranoid put him on the map as a frenetic artist with a gift for huge vocals.
Has he lost his mind? Can he see or is he blind?
After Sabbath, he excelled with his own solo records, and touring made him even more legendary. His creation of Ozfest and run-ins with bats put him in the pantheon of music icons.
On the scene of peace to chaos, it is falling at his knees.
However, it was Black Sabbath where Osbourne first connected rock to the dark side. Number 3. Mick Jagger, The Rolling Stones.
When I was driving in my car, and a man comes on the radio.
The Rolling Stones could not have become one of the most prolific acts in history without an amazing performer center stage.
I can't get no satisfaction.
Not only was Mick Jagger one of the original bad boys of rock, but his performance style was legendary. His various dance moves inspired countless imitators and even a popular Maroon 5 song.
Stop me up. Start feeling you got.
With his writing partner and guitarist Keith Richards, Jagger created many rock and roll standards.
Made damn sure that Pilot washed his hands.
Their appreciation of old blues and R&B records saluted the past and set a high bar for recording artists. The singer's many decades on tour prove that age is just a number for this legend.
Pleased to meet you. Hope you guess my name.
Number 2. Robert Plant, Led Zeppelin. Hard rock owed a massive debt to Robert Plant's achievements.
Way down inside, honey, you need it. I'm gonna give you my love.
His powerful voice put Led Zeppelin into an elite tier of influential musicians. In the early years of Plant's career, he helped create one of the best music outfits in history with vocal cords that could shatter glass. He was among the first frontmen to bring rock and roll to arenas and stadiums around the world. Few others could scream like he did on Immigrant Song and deliver a folk song like Going to California.
Spend my days with a woman unkind, smoke my stuff and drank all my wine.
Plant pushed his voice to the extreme through the 70s. Fortunately, his efforts helped set the bar high for future generations.
Standing on a hill in the mountain of dreams, telling myself it's not as hard as it seems.
Number 1. Freddie Mercury, Queen. There is no question that Queen was the product of a collaborative effort.
Mama, she's killed a man.
At the same time, it cannot be denied that singular Freddie Mercury took the band to a whole new level with his dynamic vocal range.
Shooting star leaping through the sky like a tiger, defying the laws of gravity.
And videos from iconic sets like Queen's legendary Live Aid performance proved he had an unparalleled relationship with the crowd.
All we hear, Radio Gaga, Radio Boo-Boo.
He was everything a lead singer should and could be, and then some.
So you think you can stop me and spit in my eye?
Mercury's shining star burned bright as his operatic style progressed music further than anyone expected. While he was gone much too soon, the artist lived on through his own indelible stamp on rock music.
Plenty of ways that you can hurt a man and bring him to the ground. You can beat him, you can cheat him, you can treat him bad and leave him when he died.
The best frontman in history was also the most entertaining, dynamic, and effortlessly talented. There will never be another Freddie Mercury.
Think you don't like metal? Well, leave it to Ozzy Osbourne to change your mind. No, seriously. Take a look. Here are his and all the other metal albums for people that don't like metal.
Trust I seek and I find in you.
Welcome to Watch Mojo. And today we're counting down our picks for the heavy metal albums that could serve as solid primers for anyone that's skeptical of the genre.
Torches blazed and sacred chants were praised.
Number 20, Appetite for Destruction, Guns N' Roses.
Welcome to the jungle. We got fun and games. We got everything you want. How do we know the name?
Call it hard rock, call it heavy metal, just don't call Appetite for Destruction anything less than a stone cold classic. This monster debut LP from Guns N' Roses is chock full of songs you know, making it a perfect primer for those unfamiliar with the band's sleazy 1980s sound.
Take me down to the paradise city where the grass is green and the girls are pretty.
Appetite goes beyond familiar tracks like Sweet Child of Mine, Night Train, and Mr. Brownstone, containing a wealth of amazing deep cuts like Think About You. It's songs like these, as well as its epic closing number, Rocket Queen, that help make Appetite for Destruction as perfect an album as you're ever going to find. Number 19, Peace Sells, but who's buying? Megadeth. Thrash can be something of a tough sell for those outside of heavy metal's immediate circle of influence. That said, however, there's just something about the excellence surrounding elite acts like Megadeth that serve as a great musical introduction.
I am the devil that the devil salesman, if you will.
Peace Sells, but Who's Buying was the group's sophomore effort and began to balance Megadeth's furious technical prowess with some catchy songwriting. Dave Mustaine and his boys could play their asses off, sure, but they were also concerned with pushing forward heavy metal as a whole, and in doing so, they practically dared everybody else to keep up. Number 18, Around the Fur, Deftones. There were a wealth of acts during the late 90s that were attempting to combine heavy music with emotive singing and alternative aesthetic trappings. Deftones were among the most successful of these groups, thanks largely to how the vocals of frontman Chino Moreno would vacillate between the seductive and the aggressive. My Own Summer, Shove It, was a heavy opening tune, sure, but there are also moments on the album that are melodic and downright sensual. Deftones would explore these sorts of sounds more on later albums, but Around the Fur showcases a nice balance between their heavy roots and forward-thinking sounds. Number 17, Images and Words, Dream Theater.
Live another day. Climb a little higher.
The progressive rock of the 1970s earned a new lease on life once high-minded metal bands of the 1980s and 90s took those musical reins and ran off to the races. Artists such as Fate's Warning and Dream Theater would serve as bridges between the old and new, particularly the latter. Indeed, Dream Theater's sophomore album Images and Words would go on to become one of the defining progressive metal LPs of its day, and it still holds up marvelously by current standards. The musicianship is otherworldly, but the songwriting is also up to snuff, particularly on the album's hit single, Pull Me Under. Said simply, Dream Theater is one of the best to ever do it. Number 16, Vulgar Display of Power, Pantera. We honestly could have picked any Pantera album for this list. Yes, even the glam metal ones. Yet there's something transformative about Vulgar Display of Power that's made more than one heavy metal convert out of a non-believer. There's a ridiculous amount of fire, aggression, and yes, power to be heard on this album. Pantera's power groove approach takes on both riffs and breakdown sections in equal measure, while singer Phil Anselmo forever sounds like the angriest guy in the room. But there's also brief moments of melodic respite on songs like Hollow to ensure that vulgar display of power will never be seen as a one-trick pony. Number 15, Van Halen. Van Halen.
I live my life like there's no tomorrow.
This is it, the basic blueprint for the entire Sunset Strip glam metal sound that would emerge in the 1980s. Van Halen did it all on their debut album before artists like Rat, Dokken, and Warrant could even bat an eyelash. Hot licks? Check. Ridiculous chops? Double check. Van Halen's first record is, in a word, immense. Yet it's not all heads down bombast. Songs like Atomic Punk, I'm the One, Jamie's Crying, and On Fire are all arranged with note-perfect perfection. David Lee Roth is the perfect voice to sing these songs too. Part Broadway showman, part carnival barker, and all charisma. Van Halen still sounds as fresh now as it did back in 1978. Number 14, British Steel, Judas Priest.
There I was completely wasting, out of work and down.
The back catalog of Judas Priest possesses a treasure trove of diamonds, from their moody work in the 1970s to the arena-ready sound of British Steel. This was the album that broke Priest in America, an anthemic LP that's admittedly diluted a bit from the band's more progressive past, but no less heavy.
Breaking the law, breaking the law, breaking the law, breaking the law.
The Rage and Steeler connect British Steel a bit to Priest's younger days, while Breaking the Law and Rapid Fire are indicative of metal's fresh, new approach for the 80s. Meanwhile, Living After Midnight may be an overplayed hit single from this album, but it's almost single-handedly responsible for bringing scores of new fans into the Priest fold, and that's gotta count for something. Number 13, Dirt, Alice in Chains.
I feel so alone, gonna end up a big old pile of them bones.
The sound of glam rock that inspired the demo work of Alice in Chains was long gone by the time Dirt arrived in 1992. This sophomore LP built upon the heavy framework of its predecessor, Facelift, in a big way. Alice in Chains were still a heavy guitar-focused band, straddling the line between grunge trailblazers and unabashed metalheads. Dirt brought to the table a more meditative and moody sense of songwriting.
Here they come to snuff the rooster.
This was a stark contrast to the lyrical content found within much heavy metal from this period, and allowed songs like Them Bones, Rooster, Damn That River, and Wood to truly resonate with fans. Dirt, frankly, just sounded fresh, and Alice in Chains were officially on their way to becoming rock gods. Number 12, Once, Nightwish.
I wish I had an angel for one moment of love.
What's the best entry point for heavy metal? Well, the answer to that question just might be found among any of the genre's myriad subgenres. Finland's Nightwish are symphonic, operatic, and unapologetically melodic. They've historically done nothing in half measures, whether on their breakthrough Wishmaster LP from 2000 or on this epic album from 2004. Once is a wonderful way to expose those wary of metal to just how many approachable avenues one could take toward the same musical destination. It's an album steeped in keyboards and legitimately amazing female vocals, a grand exploration into the realms of beauty and fantasy. Nightwish wants to take you away with their music, and Once is the perfect album to achieve this goal. Number 11, Meliora, Ghost.
I feel your presence amongst us.
There can often be a surprising number of musical influences that creep up within even the heaviest of metal bands. Sweden's Ghost have cited artists like the Beatles as offering inspiration for their vocal harmonies and musical arrangements, and that musical diversity can be heard in Ghost's 2015 album, Meliora.
I can feel the thunder that's breaking in your heart.
The guitar work on here isn't as edgy as some other more extreme metal acts from Scandinavia, instead working together with choral voices and synthesizer to create a remarkable approachability. Meliora is just remarkably easy to listen to, despite containing songwriting that's unabashedly progressive in scope.
You are cast out from the heavens to the ground.
Number 10. Mesmerize, System of a Down.
What the hell is in the box?
Next on our list is the Armenian-American formation known as System of a Down. Originating in Los Angeles County, the band members grew up in one of the world's largest musical melting pots. The band's mix of influences reached its pinnacle in 2004's Mesmerize.
Blast off in party time, and we don't live in a fascist nation.
The album combines elements from several different genres, including acoustic, progressive rock, and even reggae. And that's only to name a few. However, the band's metal presence is still center stage in the form of advanced guitar play, sudden tempo changes, and unique vocals. When combined with their eclectic background, this masterful stirring of sounds creates an experience with something for everyone. Number 9. The End of Heartache, Kill Switch Engage. The third studio album from this metalcore group was the result of several lineup changes. Former drummer Adam D took on the duties of lead guitar, while Justin Foley was recruited to take his place on the drums. Also, Howard Jones took the seat as the band's frontman. This musical chairs of the personnel went over well, as The End of Heartache became a massive critical and commercial success, with its title track earning the group a Grammy nomination. Exploring the softer side of metal, if such a thing exists, The End of Heartache's lyrical topics include romance, faith, and unity, which are amplified through harmonic guitars and Jones's booming delivery. On the strength of accessible songs, such as the album's title track, The End of Heartache was certified gold in 2007. Number 8. Volume 3. The Subliminal Verses. Slipknot. Okay, just bear with us on this one. While the horrific masks and relentless brutality of Slipknot can scare away even some veteran rock fans, Volume 3 was the band's pinnacle of widespread appeal. By cutting out curse words and incorporating melodic overtones, the Iowa natives reached beyond their hardcore fan base and caught the attention of the mainstream. However, commercial genius producer Rick Rubin found a way to do so without sacrificing the band's face-melting sound. The result was an album that left very few unsatisfied. Not only did it go platinum in less than a year, but it also was named one of the best albums of the decade by Metal Hammer magazine. It also didn't hurt that its singles had some of the best music videos in Slipknot history. Number 7. Sunbather, Death Heaven. Metal has never sounded this dreamy. Band members George Clark and Kerry McCoy combined black metal elements with a post-rock atmosphere to create an album that drew in universal acclaim. This was accomplished through the wall of sound technique. The method involves layering instruments and different effects multiple times to produce a truly immersive listening experience. This allowed some of Death Heaven's major metal influences to still be present without scaring would-be listeners away. Somewhere among the sea of samples, interludes, and guitar effects are classic black metal vocals. Through this pop-inspired recording technique, Sunbather undoubtedly drew in many prospective metal fans and maintained those already in for the ride. Number 6. City of Evil, Avenged Sevenfold.
This shining city built of gold, a far cry from innocence.
Many of the albums on this list were stylistic departures from the band's normal sound. By far, the best example of this was Avenged Sevenfold's third studio release. For this recording, singer M. Shadows toned down his usual screaming and adopted a grittier style. Additionally, other band members expanded on melodic sounds that previous albums only briefly featured. This helped the band pivot from a moshing metalcore act into a more traditional heavy metal group. The musical makeover paid off as City of Evil remains the band's most successful album to date. This was due to a balance of high-powered guitar riffs and repeatable lyrics. Accessible tracks like the face-melting Backcountry and tear-jerking Seize the Day helped City of Evil earn the respect of both hardcore fans and casual listeners alike. Number 5. The Hunter, Mastodon. The Georgia-based act originally gained recognition through their unique and progressive sound. However, as the band's career evolved, so did their musical style. By the time The Hunter was recorded, Mastodon had already adopted cleaner vocals and polished instrumentals. However, this time, the record also featured the recruitment of producer Mike Elizondo. His past collaborations include several popular artists such as Eminem, Maroon 5, and Fiona Apple. Under Elizondo's proven guidance, the album combined ludicrous guitar play, various singing methods, and epic choruses under attention-grabbing production. The result was a massive success that the members have named as the most fun to record. Luckily for them, it is arguably the most fun for mainstream fans to listen to.
It's just the color of the bird.
Number 4. Blizzard of Oz, Ozzy Osbourne. Although the Prince of Darkness had already experienced success as the frontman for Black Sabbath, he had to share the spotlight with fellow rock legends Tony Iommi and Geezer Butler. It wasn't really until Osbourne went solo that his natural charisma as a performer started to blossom. His debut album came only 1 year after his firing from Black Sabbath. More on that later. Backing up the future godfather of heavy metal was guitarist Randy Rhoads, whose classical background added a sense of refinement and complexity to Osbourne's shrill vocals. Together, the two produced blistering tracks, such as the iconic Crazy Train, which remains one of Ozzy's most popular songs to date. The Madman's first venture by himself was a huge success, going platinum 4 times and cementing the singer as a household name. Number 3. The Number of the Beast, Iron Maiden.
I left alone. My mind was blank.
Like we mentioned earlier, stylistic shifts are a common theme on this list. The third studio album by Iron Maiden is no exception, as it was the first to feature legendary singer Bruce Dickinson. Dickinson's soaring vocals and energetic delivery made The Number of the Beast more of a metal opera than a normal album. Bassist Steve Harris's galloping style helped facilitate several heart-racing tempo changes, which made the blistering guitar work easy to digest. Several of the songs also made recognizable references to things like movies and religion. Combining all these elements made for a release that was approachable, relatable, and still reflective of the band's metal roots. As a result, The Number of the Beast is considered an absolute landmark for the genre. Number 2. Paranoid, Black Sabbath. A great place to start when introducing a newbie to a music genre is at the origin. While the debate of which was the first heavy metal album includes several choices, Black Sabbath's sophomore release is undeniably one of the most influential in the pool. It isn't much of a stretch to say that every entrant on this list was in some way influenced by this iconic album.
Can you help me? Are you by my brain?
Guided by guitarist Tony Iommi's iconic riffs, Paranoid spoke of harsher life topics, including war, depression, and substance use. The dose of reality worked, as the masses embraced tracks such as War Pigs and Iron Man. The album's widespread appeal helped open the door for countless metal acts to follow, and cemented the band's status as one of the pioneers of the genre. Number 1. Metallica.
Say your prayers, it's a one. Don't forget my son.
Picking just one of this band's releases is tough, considering their back catalog includes masterpieces like Ride the Lightning and Master of Puppets. However, for the top spot on this list, we have to give it to the self-titled album that turned Metallica from thrash legends into global icons. The widespread hysteria surrounding the album was due to its versatility. Not only did the nicknamed Black Album feature classic thrash tracks such as Through the Never, but it also featured widely loved slower songs like Nothing Else Matters, which has been covered over 40 times. This album reached its pinnacle in the leading track, Enter Sandman, which is now one of the most recognizable metal songs in history. On its way to going platinum 16 times, the Black Album helped to establish heavy metal as a widely embraced music genre, and nothing else matters.
No, nothing else matters.
Which metal album do you think could convert a non-believer?
Ozzy Osbourne always danced to the beat of his own haunted drum. They said he was eccentric to the max, and we do not disagree.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're looking at the most erratic and unconventional musicians of all time.
Poo-poo ta-na-na and poo-poo ta-na-na.
Number 10, Bjork.
We'll implode inwards towards destruction.
Bjork is easily Iceland's most famous musician. She first rose to prominence in the 1980s as the lead singer of the Sugar Cubes, before achieving even greater success as a solo artist. Her music, known for its highly experimental and innovative edge, became increasingly eccentric over her first 3 albums, and has remained consistently quirky. Bjork's peculiarities extend beyond her music. Her arts, videos, and fashion all stand out for their surreal aesthetic. Perhaps one of her most iconic looks was the swan dress she wore to the 2001 Oscars, which The Telegraph hailed as one of the most iconic red carpet looks. Bjork's fearless embrace of her peculiarity has made her a musical giant, inspiring countless fans globally with her unique vision.
So all that's on TV, it just goes directly into your brain, and you stop judging if it's right or not. So you just swallow and swallow.
Number 9. Captain Beefheart. Captain Beefheart's most iconic work, Trout Mask Replica, produced by Frank Zappa and performed with his Magic Band, is as much a hot mess as it is a meticulously crafted masterpiece.
When she drives her Chevy, sissies don't dare to glance.
Beefheart wrote every song on piano in 9 hours, despite having never played the instrument before. Each instrumental part was transcribed, and the musicians played them as perfectly as they could. However, the recording process was grueling. At one point, the drummer was pushed down a flight of stairs for failing to play a strawberry. None of the parts were in sync, and Beefheart recorded vocals without hearing the instrumentals. resulting in music's most carefully composed mess.
Stop the show! I need to say hello to the crow.
And that's just the tip of the iceberg. The full story is too long to recount here. Number 8, Ozzy Osbourne. It's no exaggeration to claim that Black Sabbath and their frontman, the Prince of Darkness, Ozzy Osbourne, pioneered heavy metal. Since the band's monumental debut in 1970, Osbourne has gone on to become one of music's most significant and bizarre figures. There's an abundance of wacky stories surrounding the singer, like the infamous 1982 incident when he bit the head off of a bat on stage. A year earlier, a dove suffered a similar fate at his hands, reflecting his history of shocking acts involving animals.
Bark at the moon.
This behavior may trace back to his time working in a slaughterhouse, which likely desensitized him to animal cruelty. Another crazy story involved accidentally drugging a vicar after his wife unknowingly gave him a spacey kick.
I used to say when I was in my 20s, I'll be dead by 40. That was okay till I was 39 3/4. Maybe I'm going to stick around a bit longer.
Number 7, Sun Ra.
Come on, sign without a space, Ways Incorporated.
Claiming to be a messiah sent from Saturn by cosmic beings to speak through music is quite a curious backstory for a musician, and is one of many reasons Sun Ra is considered so eccentric.
The people have no music that is in coordination with their spirits. Because of this, they're out of tune with the universe.
During his life, he composed more than 100 full-length experimental jazz albums. His music was unlike anything on Earth, creating sounds he believed aligned with the cosmos's vibrations. Sun Ra pioneered Afrofuturism, an aesthetic combining African culture with science fiction. He rejected his given name, racial identity, and earthly constraints, and embraced an otherworldly persona as an act of liberation. Although he passed away in 1993, his legacy endures, and his music will continue to inspire many for decades.
Along came
Number 6, Yoko Ono. Yoko is one of music's most polarizing figures, considered a misunderstood genius by some and despised by others. Contrary to popular belief, she didn't break up the Beatles, although she has made many questionable art choices, like putting John Lennon's bloodied glasses on an album cover. Much of the hostility she faces stems from racism and misogyny, but despite individual opinions of her, everyone agrees she's pretty peculiar. Ono is famous for her avant-garde scream, used as a way to express feelings words fail to convey. However, not everyone appreciates it. For example, she belted her lungs out while performing with Chuck Berry once, which was so out of place that the sound engineer muted her completely. Number 5, Michael Jackson. Rising to fame as one of the Jackson 5, the King of Pop became the most famous person in the world at the peak of his career. His eccentricity was a result of his unique and tragic upbringing, along with the isolation caused by his stardom.
So just leave me alone.
He had a childlike love for toys, cartoons, and animals, stemming from a desire to recapture the childhood he never had. This longing was reflected in his private amusement park, Neverland Ranch, where his moonwalking pet chimpanzee Bubbles lived. Known for his peculiar purchases, Jackson reportedly attempted to buy the Elephant Man's bones for $1 million, but his bid was rejected. His uniqueness as an artist has solidified him as one of music history's most fascinating figures. Number 4. Prince. Prince was a musician, performer, and cultural icon who cultivated an unconventional image that still stands out.
Kiss.
A music prodigy, he seamlessly blended a multitude of genres and mastered several instruments. Prince was a Jehovah's Witness, which meant he would have gone knocking on strangers' doors, enlightening them about his faith.
There's supposed to be a separation of church and state over here. We can't have a separation of state and morality, though.
He took this work seriously, one time knocking on a Jewish household's door and insisting on finishing his message despite their disinterest. He also didn't believe in time, refusing to count his age.
Happy birthday to me. Say what?
In 1993, he created Glam Slam Ulysses, a funk-infused adaptation of Homer's epic. Prince was an icon who truly lived life on his own terms, which is something we can all look up to.
Come on, baby. Let's get down.
Number 3. Frank Zappa. In his own words, Frank Zappa never set out to be weird. It was always other people who called him weird.
I am the slime from the video. Can't stop the slime, people look at me go.
Zappa was a renowned band leader, guitarist, and composer who rejected norms and embraced unconventionality. One of his first TV appearances featured him showing how to play a bicycle, foreshadowing his unusual career. Zappa despised apathy and encouraged his fans to vote by putting registration booths at live shows. He also upheld artists' rights when in 1985 he testified at Congress in opposition to a proposed censorship law.
The establishment of a rating system, voluntary or otherwise, opens the door to an endless parade of moral quality control programs.
During his monumental speech, he famously said, "Bad facts make bad law," and contributed to blocking the passage of the bill. Decades after his death, he's still considered one of music's most innovative stars.
The torture never stops.
Number 2. David Bowie. One of the most celebrated musicians of all time, David Bowie constantly displayed boundary-pushing levels of creativity.
Is there life on Mars?
His eccentricity was a fundamental part of his artistic identity, with an unparalleled ability to constantly reinvent his image. From Ziggy Stardust to the Thin White Duke, he constantly transformed stylistically. There are countless stories highlighting Bowie's oddities, like the fact that he kept urine in his fridge to protect it from witches. Another is that while recording Station to Station, his diet was primarily peppers, milk, and narcotics. Bowie frequently challenged the industry standards, which has become an essential part of his lasting legacy. Number 1. Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart. Many struggle to understand how innovative Mozart was, with his music being over 200 years old now. During his life, many of his works were groundbreaking and also controversial. He was a peculiar person by the standards of any period. For instance, he once proposed to Aloysia Weber, who later gave him the cold shoulder. Outraged, he played a revenge tune, essentially telling her to kiss his behind.
Kiss my ass. Emeram.
No, I'm
Just
not
say it.
playing
It's
this
serious.
game.
Emeram.
He later married her sister, whom he controlled obsessively, banning her from walking alone, going to casinos, and even restricting her bath time out of fear that she'd drown.
Please. Let me sit here. Let me stay here with you.
Mozart was rebellious for the era and will forever be remembered as one of history's most original composers. Who do you think takes the cake for being the oddest musician of all time?
Ozzy Osbourne wasn't just a rock legend, he was a full-blown cultural phenomenon. Thanks for watching. I've been Matt from Watch Mojo, and I'll see you next time.